JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, man killed at bingo party in Granville. The Granville police have commenced an investigation surrounding the shooting death of a man at a bingo party in Granville, St. James, on Thursday. The deceased has been identified so far only as D, also of a Granville address. Reports by the police are that about 8:30 p.m. on Thursday, the deceased and other patrons were at a shop along Guns Drive in Granville, playing bingo, when they were pounced upon by two men armed with handguns. The gunmen opened fire, hitting the deceased multiple times before escaping on foot in the area. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, they found the deceased suffering from gunshot wounds to the upper body. He was transported to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Mother thankful following attack on 5-year-old. A West Kingston mother is thankful to see her 5-year-old daughter smile again after being shot twice in a violent gun attack at her home around 7 on Wednesday night. A second victim, a 32-year-old man, was shot in the upper body and had to be admitted to hospital. The child's mother described the events as nerve-wracking. "Me nearly lose my mind. The 5 minutes we take to reach the hospital are the longest and most painful 5 minutes of my life," she said. Police reports are that the victims were inside their house when they were pounced upon by a lone gunman who opened gunfire in the house. The gunman then fled on foot in the area. "We just have to give thanks, because it could be worse. When him fired the first set of shots, me a praying in my mind, say, God, do make the gun stuck and no come on again," she said. The woman said that the gun apparently jammed and the shooter, who was in their house, beat a hasty retreat. He, however, stood in the yard and again opened fire. That was when the baby was hit. "When me hear my daughter cry out, me look upon her and tell her to stay one place, because she should have to step over my baby father, who did upon the ground and bleed. But by the time me move over to get her, the man come back and fire 3 more shots," she said. 2 of the bullets flew through both of the toddler's arms. "Me there look how my daughter could have dead, and it happened right in my house. For what? Me just have to give thanks, because it could be worse," the mother said. She was standing right in front of the window, and the gunman looked right at her. And when me look, me see she blood up. Me grab her up same time and start to scream. Me don't even know who get the car. Me only hear somebody say a car outside," she said. Luckily, the bullets did not do any major damage to the child. "I'll know me not fully recover. If me traumatized over the issue like this, imagine my 5-year-old daughter. But I never want to relive this again," the mother said. PM mourns murder of Natalie Dawkins. Calls on Jamaicans to share information with police. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has urged individuals who may have information that can assist the police in their investigation into the murder of primary school teacher Natalie Dawkins to come forward. In a statement, Holness noted that he, like the rest of the nation, was deeply saddened and distraught at the news of the discovery of Dawkins' body yesterday in Clarendon. While closely following the developments surrounding Natalie's disappearance for the past week, I, like many Jamaicans, prayed and hoped for positive news, even as fears of the worst lingered, he said. "I offer my deepest condolences to teacher Dawkins' immediate family and loved ones," he added. "The education sector is near and dear to my heart, and I know that her school and indeed the entire teaching fraternity is now grieving the loss of an educator, nation builder, colleague and friend," the Prime Minister said. He commended the investigative work of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, in arresting suspected perpetrators and recovering important evidence. He also commended the support of stakeholders like the Jamaica Teachers Association. "In such crimes, it is difficult to predict and anticipate their occurrence. Nevertheless, the government believes that by increased information flow between citizens and law enforcement, more preventative actions could be taken," Holness said. DPP awaiting completion of file to rule on St. Ann pastor's case. Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Paula Llewellyn, is awaiting the completion of a police report to decide whether St. Ann pastor Peter Chambers will be charged for public comments he made regarding Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Chambers was taken into custody on March 24 by a team from the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch CTOC, which swooped down on his home in Orangeville early that morning. His detention followed his social media campaign against Holness in light of measures implemented to curtail the spread of COVID-19, which include lockdowns that have virtually forced churches to close. A quantity of foreign currencies was also seized by the police. Chambers was released a few days later, and a file submitted to the DPP for a ruling on whether he should be charged. On Thursday, Llewellyn indicated that there were outstanding issues that have prevented a ruling on the case. We are still awaiting the completion of the file. We have given certain directives to the police, and we are awaiting the file to be completed for us to consider. When we have considered, then we'll be able to indicate what is what, Llewellyn said. JPS increasing deposits charged on some accounts, introducing refund system. The Jamaica Public Service, JPS, says it will be increasing the deposit charge to accounts and certain categories of delinquent and disconnected customers. JPS says it will be bringing customer deposits in line with the average monthly bill of $6,000 for residential customers. The deposit for rate 20, which are small commercial customers, will be set at a minimum of $10,000. JPS says this will only apply to new accounts being opened as of April 15, delinquent accounts, and accounts which are disconnected 2 times or more in the last 12 months. It says persons are therefore encouraged to avoid disconnection and the associated deposit upgrade, which the company says is designed to help cover outstanding debts that may occur. Meanwhile, JPS says it will introduce a deposit refund system, giving good paying residential customers the option to apply for the refund of their deposit. A good paying residential customer is someone who has been paying his or her bills on time and in full for the last 24 months. The company is also reminding customers that prepaid service, for which no deposit is required, is available to all residential and small commercial customers and represents an excellent energy management tool. In the meantime, the power company indicated that it has paid the annual interest on customer deposits in the just concluded first quarter of 2021. It says this was reflected as a deduction on January bills. It added that the payout was at the Bank of Jamaica Treasury bill rate, which at the time of disbursement was 1.909%. All customers who open a JPS account pay an initial deposit for the service. While it is likely that many customers may have forgotten that they paid a deposit upon taking out the service, the company has always abided by the practice of paying interest as far back as the late 1960s, JPS explained. The company says that interest is paid either in the first quarter or last quarter of the year. 15 more COVID-19 deaths, 239 new cases. Jamaica recorded another 15 COVID-19 related deaths yesterday, as 239 new cases of the virus were also recorded. The total number of confirmed cases now stands at 41,843 and the death toll at 661. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, 8 of the deaths were from Kingston and St. Andrew and included 6 men, ages 70, 61, 65, 68, 79, and 2 women, ages 64 and 98. 3 of the deaths were from St. Catherine, 2 men aged 69 and 78, and a 60-year-old woman. The other deaths were a 67-year-old woman from St. Elizabeth, an 81-year-old man from St. James, a 61-year-old man from Portland, and a 78-year-old man from Hanover. Of the 239 new cases, there were 103 females and 136 males with ages ranging from 8 days to 100 years. The cases were recorded in St. Catherine, 78, Kingston and St. Andrew, 70, St. Thomas, 26, Portland, 17, St. James, 11, Clarendon, 10, Manchester and St. Anne, 7 each, St. Elizabeth, 5, Westmoreland, 4, St. Mary and Hanover, 2 each. The country also recorded 124 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 18,690. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.